Right, hello everyone, you know the drill. Back here for Sunday League Virtual at Baku this time. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous track down by the Caspian Sea. This version in particular made by Eurist and AI Lines by Nuno, as with all of our tracks this season. We've got all 20 racers ready here today, and we'll see how they all get along. So, I'm not going to do the graphics on the screen last time, because that took about 3 light years to export. I know that's not a measurement of time, shut up. We'll see what I can do this time in terms of just commentating stuff to you, which is my job. I'll do a very quick run through the tokens while we're still in qualifying. I'll remind you about them in the race as well. Anti taking none, Vlad, his teammate, taking 2, Phoenix with 2, Sobel with 3, so big day potentially for Phoenix Motorsport. Julian 5545 also taking 3, his teammate Rito none, 1 for each of the SPMs, that's Het and Lev, 4 for Goose, our biggest token spender of the day, in the only team yet to score points. Bluebell Boy taking none for the 3rd race in a row. Jake 2, his teammate Andres 2, they've got the double turbo upgrade today. Yoshi 1, Eurus 3, X6 3, Grandy none, Vlado 2, 1, Mandy 3, Trixie 2, Spuda none. Let's see how they've lined up in qualifying. Goose is on pole. The team that haven't scored a point yet have taken pole position here in Baku, and it wasn't even close. Julian, for Comedy Racing, car with 2 speed upgrades and now a turbo upgrade as well, starts on the front row. Eurist in 3rd for Team Velocity, his qualifying's been very, very solid this season. Phoenix in 4th for his own team, his teammate right behind him in 5th. X6 in 6th for THX. 7th is somehow I made it, who missed out on the race win by just a 20th of a second last time out. Hernandi takes 8th place for the Nuri Racing team, still yet to get their first upgrade on the car. Yoshi Josh makes it a double top 10 qualifying for Team Velocity. Levioso also in the top 10 for Spire Motorsport. Trixie takes 11th spot with Anti right behind him. The BARs of Jake and Andres lining up on row 7. Grandy, who's won both of the first 2 races, down in 15th in qualifying. Rito in 16th spot. Vlado 2 after a very solid result last time, only qualifying 17th here. Hevenek in 18th. Spuda takes 19th place, and FVR make it a 1:20 by qualifying both first and last with 2.25 seconds between their drivers. Time to get underway in Baku. Rain coming off the start. We're going to have a dry start, the turn's wet. We're underway here in Azerbaijan, and it just starts coming down as they all reach the first corner. Julian slides wide going into turn 2. Can Eurus make a move here? Very tight through this part. We love street circuits for this reason, particularly here at Baku. So tight, so careful you need to be, but Goose has gotten a good start, he's gotten away well. They're holding position pretty much. X6 looking to attack Sobel. Round the outside, can he go through this corner? Oh, Hernandi closing up. Sobel losing a lot of speed there. Hernandi and Sobel going back through on X6 though. Crossing the line, we've done lap 1, and it is Julian in 2nd place. Phoenix running in the podium spots in 3rd, and Eurus dropping down to 4th. Hernandi in 5th. Can we see a KRT car in the top 5, 2 races running? Maybe so. Sobel gets past him. Does he? No, not quite. Hernandi hits the wall. Sobel can't make an overtake. He's going to try one into here though. Does manage it through that sharp right-hander, and we've got a whole train of cars coming up now. Hernandi, with no speed upgrades, no upgrades of any kind on the car, managed to get the better run out of that corner, re-overtake Sobel down the straight. Vlad using a bit of boost into that corner to try and pull up behind Sobel. X6 and Trixie also right behind these 2. Yoshi making a move on Anti in the background. This is for 11th position there. Anti's going to fight that back. We've got Jake behind and Grandy in 14th, made up a position at the start. Vlado 2 with a couple made up, he's in 15th, Het in 16th, Bluebell made up 3 positions in 17th place, Spuda in 18th, and then we've got Rito and Andres right at the back. Goose still leading, he's got a good margin now. Eurus back into the top 3, as he goes for an overtake on Phoenix there. He's really going to want a good result after a DNF, our first of the season. Last time out in Brest, a collision with the pit wall. It turned out severe suspension damage. He was never called into pit by the stewards, but there was a limiter put on his car's pace in order to make it easier to lap from about half race distance onwards when it was discovered he had the problem. So, he's going to hope for no problems today. Phoenix managed to pull away a little bit. He's had a good last half a lap or so. Very good sector 1. He's pulled right up to Julian coming into the infamous Castle section. Just clips them all there. We've got 2 cars into the pits already. It's Jake and Rita. We'll see where they come out. They're out. Andre's also out. And the track is very nearly dry. Now it is. As we've got the leader coming into pits just as it does dry up. Phoenix right on the back of Julian as well. Eurus and Hernandez with the further down pit boxes. Let's hope nobody gets in each other's way too much here. Looking all relatively clean. Ooh, somehow made it just out in front of Lev there. Yoshi and Grandy splitting into their pit boxes at the same time too. Vlado too just misses them. Bluebell in, and these guys right at the back, all undercut by those who chose the slicks a lap earlier. Grandy up to 11th place now. Very good recovery for him so far. Looking back to the front, pretty dominant for Goose, out in the lead of the race, using 4 tokens to be so. Phoenix in second place. We've got a 3-way battle for third. Julian currently occupying it, but Hernandi right behind. Eurist in 5th, right behind these two. He's on the mediums, so he can be able to really push some extra life through these tyres in order to try and get it now obviously onto the slick tyre. Not everyone's still on the same compound like it is with the wets. To start with, you definitely do get a speed advantage. We'll see if Eurus can get it here as he runs those mediums. Can he pull up to the back? And Hernandi's doing quite well. Hernandi even closing speed on Julian a little bit there. So we'll have to see how that develops for those guys. Having a look down. Rain's back on the way. Those who chose the softs and the mediums will be appreciative of that. And yeah, those runners from just outside the top 10, all in for wet weather tyres. They're all taking the extreme wets, it looks like. Not the inters. Maybe the inters are not enabled. I hope they are. But it might seem that they aren't, which would be a shame for this race. Anyways, you know, you need all the grip you can get around Baku is what I say, so need those full wet weather tyres regardless. Here we go, everyone into the pits now, just as the sun's coming back, so we'll see what these who have just pitted will do, such as Yoshi. He is the last one in for a stop, and yeah, him and Trixie there onto the wets, but it'll only be for a few laps. They're in 11th and 10th, battling for the final point at the moment. Trixie loving to pick up some good points for his team W Tech today, with Spooner down in not very great positions at the moment. Right, back towards the front of the grid we look. Sobel attacking Eurus. Eurus fallen off that pack a little bit now. Just not a huge token usage for him today. In fairness, he's only just using. No, to be fair, that's fair. He is using 3 tokens, so he should be trying to challenge higher up there. I'll do a quick run through as we look to these guys. Goose extending that gap out in the lead. Can Julian make an overtake? Goes to the inside on Phoenix. He gets that move done well before the braking zone. Does move himself up into second place. He'd love another great result today. That would really help the team out. In terms of token usage, Goose obviously out in front. He is using 4. Driver's side to come in for slicks now, by the way. Sobel the first to do so. Eurus the last driver to stay out on the wet. So we'll see how Sobel can manage an undercut there. See if he can bring his way back into that maybe contention for the podium. As they come into pit, Julian today using 3 tokens. Phoenix today using just 2. His teammate Sobel using 3. Speaking of, we'll see where he comes out relative to this pack. And he does undercut, does he? No, he's behind Hernandi, but he goes around the outside of turn 2 anyways. And he does take 4th position. He's using 3 tokens today. He'd really be hoping for a good result. And it's a great strategy there, pulling that undercut. Really helped him out there. Hernandi using 3 tokens today. X6 using 3 tokens today. Very popular token usage. 3 today in Baku, especially in a place where straight line speed is so important, and there's nothing more that shows the difference in tokens than straight line speed down that huge back straight. Right, we'll see Phoenix closing down on Julian. So Phoenix potentially grabbing a podium by only using 2 tokens today would be very, very smart with his spending for sure. With a lot of others using 3. In terms of that PMP car, they just have the 1 grip upgrade on it, and this is not hugely a grip track really until you get to these parts of the circuit. So this is the bit, the tight chicane there, very tight left hand. Don't breeze the wall on the exit there. You don't want to cause yourself any time loss through that. And then apart from it, if you look at it down here, Julian coming up to lap Spuda, who's running in last place. All straight line speed that you need, all just coming through there. Phoenix, Sobel, Landy, the rest of the top 5, X6. Then Urist using 3 tokens today. Team BLO did manage to get on a speed upgrade for this race, as we just were talking about, very, very important for a track like Baku. Lev, he's in 8th place. Now, this is somewhat the calm before the storm, because we've just seen the last place runners get lapped. Once everyone's getting lapped at the same time, that's when you start to get issues, because re-overtaking is easy as pie if you've got the speed advantage down that straight. Trixie in 9th, hunted down by Vlad in 10th, earning currently 2 and 1 points for their teams respectively. In terms of the team's championship standing, let's bring that up. So currently, it's obviously THX leading the way, COR in 2nd, they've got 32 points, THX have 58, so not really near at all. But with Julian running in 2nd, that can really help extend that advantage over the other teams and close it down to THX. Then we also have WTech, who are on 36 points. They'll be main contenders today. That CO will look to overtake in the standings, rather. But Trixie in 9th, Spooner in 20th, just currently on course for 2 points. Not good at all for the WTech team. We've also got SFR, thanks to Vlad's very good result last time out. They are on 26 points, holding 4th in the team standings. But they will want to try and build up some more points. They're not doing a huge amount of that at the moment. Vlad running in 9th place, Anti down in 13th. People coming in for pit stops. Here we go, Yoshi in from 11th. Trixie just out, he's into 10th place. Vlad still needs to stop at some point. Leviosa in 8th also needs to stop soon, as it's Urist, Sobel, and X6. Phoenix is in X6 inherits. Well, 4th place at the moment, but he's battling Andy for 3rd. Uses a bit of turbo down there, very exciting indeed, and he does get 3rd place off him. Can he hold it? Big shunt with the wall, and they're still colliding. That's losing them so much time. Awful for their pace there. You really don't want to get too tangled up through that section of the track. That will be very, very important for for blue flag runners. So definitely not a problem you want to have. We've got Grandy being lapped by his teammate, not something we've seen that often so far this season. Grandy starting well, he's back down into 16th, unfortunately for him, and THX not looking on for any points today. X6, in the 2 previous races, using no tokens, still getting, I believe it's 7 points total. So that shows that the car is good, and he's also getting a good bit of luck. He could even, potentially, be his teammate's main rival for the championship, if you think about it. Obviously being able to score all those extra points without using tokens. If he does bring home performances while using them, who knows where he can finish up. He's using 3 today. He is in 5th place for what would currently be an average of 3 points per token. Right, Vandy battling, defending from X6. Phoenix looking to join this fight. He stopped recently on the mediums. X6 on all the hards, brushes through on Hanandi. Great straight line speed for that THX car. Hanandi relegated down into 5th place because of that. Phoenix on his fresh rubber looking to make some big gains on the cars ahead. Got a bit of a smash into the wall on both accounts there. Can Phoenix go around the outside of the exit of the castle section? Yes, he can. He's going to really need to just get through on Andrews and be able to get up to Hanandi. Rito getting in the way somewhat. He's now going to get out of the way, luckily for them. He's in 14th. I thought he started really well. What happened to Rito? Well, maybe I'm imagining things. I thought he had started the race very closely. I don't know what's quite happened to him, in all honesty. So of course, no, Julian, his teammate, you know, similar looking cars. Easy to confuse. Right, Rain's back. Time for them to slide into the pit lane, and Andy right behind Sobel. Sobel running in third. His teammate running in fifth. Double stack will lose Phoenix time. No, the inters are enabled. Thank God. No one chose them last time. Literally the entire field in light rain conditions refused to choose inters. Okay, well at least I didn't fuck that up. Through the chicane he goes. Oh, big shunt into the wall there. Obviously the extreme wet weather tyres, not the best option at the moment, only light standing water on the track. So I'm not sure why most of the grid have gone for them. I think it might be a slight compensation over the fact that not a lot of them have a lot of grip. My words are proven wrong. Heavy rain's coming, so those on the full wet will be looking good. Goose was 9 seconds out of the lead, now more like 6 to 7. Julian with a bit of clean air now, making gains on him. You could probably guess that Goose has ran into a little bit of issues with back markers. Julian, his team's done super well. He's the owner-driver of Comedy Racing Team. 2 speed upgrades and a turbo. They've passed 3 out of 3 so far. So brilliant stuff for them. One of only 3 teams to do that. SBM and WTech being the others. He's also using, let me check. He's using 3 tokens daily. You can kind of make an assumption that if a driver is running high, they are using 3 tokens. That seems to be the popular choice. At the moment, Phoenix, the highest, would not be running 3 or more. He's fallen down to 5th place because of those inters, which are not going to be giving him as much grip as he'd like. Eurus, very solid for him, still running in 6th place. We've got X6 in 7th. He's finished that already once this season when he's using no tokens, so he'd hope to finish higher than that when he's using 3. Trixie, 8th, solid, not too bad, but not a huge fall of points for WTech as it stands. Lev, coming up for a lot of traffic in top 9 though still, somehow made it with very little grip on those inters. He's in 10th. Yoshi, a bit outside the points. We've got a pretty big gulf between top and bottom 10 at the moment, but one DNF or one big mistake from the car in front, you never know. Anti also running outside in 12th. Jake, 13th in the BAR car, haven't been able to use that double turbo upgrade to too much benefit at the moment, unfortunately for all them. Rito in 14th place. So Jake, so far this season, using 6 tokens, and as it stands, no points as a result of that. Very, very, very harsh line for him. Het, 15th. Grandy down in 16th. People praying for his downfall, with him having no tokens left after spending all the first 2 races. We'll be quite happy with that. Andres in 17th. Vlado 2, 18th. 13 positions lower than he finished last time out in Brest. Spooner in 19th, and Bluebell Boy running last for his teammate up in 1st. Right, let's get back to this. Julian actually making some improvements on Goose here, not by a huge distance. You could definitely put part of it down to the back marker's struggle to be able to get through those lap cars. We'll see how we can deal with Andres here. Yeah, gets through pretty nicely. Also, something you have to consider is the fact that Comedy have 7 speed on their car and 6 turbo, with FBR having 6 speed and 6 grip. So if you can take into account that extra turbo and extra speed upgrade, probably meaning that despite Goose using more tokens, Julian will be making a more consistent pace on him. Oh, very, very tight through there. Very, very bad corner to get stuck behind someone. Julian muscles his way through on flat, not taking any nonsense there. He's pretty detached from the rest in general. 8 seconds back to Sobel, 5 ahead to Goose. He's lost some serious time through there. Sobel, very happy with 3rd place. He'd be 3 tokens spent for it, bringing some serious points for PMP after they finished outside the points with both cars last time around. He made up 8 positions, starting last, finishing in 12th, but you don't get any points for that, but you do for 3rd place. Eurus, will be looking for a podium. His first of the season, redemption after last race. Can he try one? Some people, you know, it's difficult to say. I think everyone's going to be in for their stop off the wets. The question being, could the hards go to the end? Probably not. I reckon they'll do at least one more stop. Eurus, first up here, he's on the mediums. Vlado 2 on the softs, a lap down. So those two, the first in before the slicks. They've timed it pretty nicely. They come out, they do battle each other, which they are entitled to do. There's no rules that blue flag cars have to get out of the way. It's just one of the things you'll lose less time through. And Andy, still not having pitted. That's really going to play into the hands of those competing with him in the top 5. Phoenix, notably, also not having pitted as well. So we'll see how these two come out of it. X6 up in 7th, also not having pitted. Trixie might be able to make big advantages off these guys not having stopped for those slicks. Is he going to come round? He does undercut them, and from 10th place in the running, now up into 5th. So that's immediately 8-9 more points than he's gained his team by stopping 1 lap earlier there, may I remind you. Just that 1 lap earlier. Incredible stuff. The top 4 all very spaced out at the minute. But I say that Julian has been making very good gains on Goose. Goose on the hards looking to take this to the end. Julian on the softs looking to make another stop. And that straight line speed you get from the softs, they give you more grip, obviously, but also much more importantly, huge straight line speed. And he's just going to want to try and negotiate through any cars in his way. In fact, the car directly ahead of him on track is Goose, is now X6, a lap down. Still running very well, X6. He is in 8th place at the moment, but yeah, that undercut from Trixie, and he's also lost position to Phoenix as well. Sobel really fighting his way through that pack there. Had Andy still in 5th place. Trixie still up in 6th. Great strategy for him. So, my apologies. Phoenix in 7th place. Not a bad result for him at all. X6 down to 8th. Levioso in 9th. Somehow made it in 10th. Yoshi only a few seconds back from him now, in fairness. Looking back up the pack. Still making those steady gains, Julian. It looks like he'll be within striking distance pretty soon. Goose, look how much extra speed Julian has down that straight. It's unbelievable. He's close up to Goose by turn 2. Can he overtake it to turn 3? He does, but he gets slowed down by Goose's teammate. Blue Bellboy gets in the way and loses Julian a crucial second or so. Julian not at all happy with that. Slams him right back into the wall. You know, in the grand scheme of things, it may not stop him from getting past here, but oh boy, was that absolutely vital, or could be vital, if it does come down to a second or so come the end of the race, with these two taking different strategies. Julian now in the lead of the race. Could he become, I mean, he definitely will, one of these guys will become the first team, apart from WTEC, to win the season. But Julian would love it to be Comedy Racing after the very strong start that they've had. So, Goose right behind, and still for that entire lap, very close. He does get straight line advantage coming out of that final corner. It'll be close into turn 1. They both use a bit of boost. Goose pushes ahead. Julian to the outside into turn 2, goes slightly deep, does just about get it stopped before he hits the wall. Does overtake, brilliant ding dong battle here, but Julian. Being on the softs, really won't want to be having to battle Goose, who is still on the hards and is still looking to take those to the end if he can. Or if not, then for a very late pit stop onto the softs if it's convenient for him. We'll have a look down. Eurus promoted up into 3rd place at the minute. Comes out, Julian comes out just ahead of Eurus. Is safe from Eurus for the time being, not permitting any holding up from back markers, but that is pretty key. Eurus in real life and in Sunday League Virtual, never one known to be keen to give up a battle. So Julian not having to enter that battle is the wisest choice. Oh, Sobel again put into that wall on the exit of the castle section. Poor thing, and Andy still in 5th. Trixie running in 6th and still by quite a margin as well. A couple seconds he's got over Phoenix. Same tyres, same life. So very, oh, 1 lap over, I suppose. Very good for them. Julian gets his way through on X6, relapping him. Having stopped Julian, now this is it. This is the direct fight to the end. He needs to make up 4 seconds in 6 laps, and I dare say that looks very, very doable. Maybe Goose thought he just needed to try something different because he knew that on pure pace, maybe he just doesn't have the car to be able to win this race. The COR, beautiful car, but also very, very well built, and especially for a track like this, Baku probably the track most dependent on straight line speed out of the entire calendar, which is why so many teams go for turbo over speed here. I'll remind you of the upgrades that teams have taken for this race. We have Comedy Racing able to get on a turbo upgrade. They've succeeded SPM with an acceleration upgrade to get out of those slow corners faster. They've succeeded in that. FVR with a speed upgrade, one of the main reasons that Goose has been able to do so well in this race. You see Julian getting through some back markers there. FVR's speed upgrade helping them out here. VAR double turbo upgrade not come much to fruition. They're 15th and 16th at the moment. Phoenix comes into the pit. They'll go down into 7th place there. VLO with speed. They've got Yoshi just inside the top 10 now. Julian goes for a move for the lead of the race into the slowest corner on the circuit, and he does get it. Goose dropping back. He's now behind 2 lapped cars through here. Julian through, clear into the lead of the race, and provided his tyres don't very quickly drop off, he will be able to retain that lead. Goose using 4 tokens, but with the car he has, just not quite enough to be able to clutch that race win. He should be very comfortable for second though. Jurist running his third still after a pit stop, has really swung his way over the last 10 laps or so. It looks like he might not have been able to be inside the top 5 even, battling down in 6th place. But he is now through. He is now lapping X610, who is in 8th place, battling him earlier now, just getting through a lap ahead. Jurist loving a podium here. Sobel in 4th, still very solid for him. And Andy, then we've got Trixie as well, just holding up Goose a little bit. Oh, Goose, it looks like has gone back past Julian. Missed that in all the traffic and chaos. He has, through the tight section of the track with that grip upgrade, crucially, that FVR do have, has managed to get back past him through the middle of that lap, but his tyres are properly dying. Right here, doesn't hit the wall on the exit turn 2. Final lap will decide the race winner, as it did in Brest. Julian needs to keep close to his technical sector. Is he going to go for it here? He can't manage a move into the tight left-hander. We might have a sprint to the line for it. Julian loses a lot of time on the exit, the castle section, and it looks like that might just be slipping away out of his grasp. Goose, he's led most of the race, got away amazingly at the start. They've thrown everything at him here, and he has held on, crucially re-overtaking in the penultimate lap, and he just about stretching those halves for 16, 17 laps, holding on and winning the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. An amazing result. The team not having scored any points up until now. Well, certainly looking at some good points today. We'll see how the race results go. Goose wins the race. Julian a quarter of a second back with fastest lap. Still a very solid result for him. Jurist in 3rd place. Sobel in 4th. Hanandi in 5th. And Trixie in 6th place. Very good for him, not running that high early on, being able to get back into that battle in the top 6. He just beats out Phoenix in 7th place. Not bad at all for PMP. X6, unlucky for him, gets relegated down into 8th place. Levioso in 9th for SPM, and somehow made it in the points for another race consecutively. Yoshi Josh in 11th, and the other SFR car in 12th. Andres made his way up into 13th place later on, but a big gap back from Yoshi to the rest outside that top 10. Het in 14th and Rito in 15th. Jake right behind him, he was in 16th place. Vlado 2 in 17th. Brandy down in 18th place. Spooner 19th, Bluebell Boy, very last for FVR. What a brilliant race it's been today. I really hope you've enjoyed it. See you next time. Until then, bye bye.